Welcome to Luma Sleep, where stories slow the world down and help you find rest. I'm Luma, your guide tonight. Thanks for being here. Tonight, we do not gather. We do not count the hours already gone. We do not search for what was misplaced. The day may remain where it has fallen, unfolded, unfinished, left in quiet shadow. If your breath still carries haste, let it learn gentleness, not by command, not by effort, but by permission. Like dust that no longer resists the air, like a tide that leans calmly toward shore. Your shoulders may set down their weight. Your hands may release what they hold. Even the thoughts that press at the edges can soften, can drift, can disappear. Close your eyes and let darkness become a comfort. There is no need to keep the world in order tonight. It will move on its own. This is not yet the story. It is only the quiet ground where the story will rest. And somewhere beyond, soft footsteps approach. A glow is carried, delicate, flickering, as though a boy is walking carefully with a jar of stars held close to his heart. There are nights that arrive quietly, without asking permission. They do not press forward, they simply unfold, a dark cloth laid gently across the hours. In such nights, time feels softer. It does not chase, it does not demand. It lingers, as though waiting for you to notice its stillness. And in the stillness, light begins to matter. Not the kind that blinds or burns, but the kind that hums gently, like a secret. A lantern at a doorway, the faint shimmer of glass in the grass, a single star that refuses to leave the sky. We do not cling to brilliance, we cling to presence, to the simple reminder that the dark is never complete. Perhaps this is why we dream of holding light, of keeping it near, where hands can touch it, where hearts can rest with it. And tonight, our story belongs to that dream. For somewhere, there is a boy who gathers stars, one by one, and keeps them safe inside small, waiting jars. He walks slowly, bare feet brushing the earth as though he does not wish to wake it. In his hands, he carries a small jar. Its glow trembles faintly, like a secret whisper trying not to escape. The boy does not rush. Each step seems chosen, measured not by distance, but by care. He glances only downward, toward the light he holds, as if the stars themselves might grow shy if he looked too long. Around him, the night expands, silent, unbroken. Yet where he moves, the darkness bends softer, as though the sky recognizes its own reflection in his keeping. There is no noise, only the hush of his breath, the quiet rhythm of someone who has walked many nights without needing to arrive. He does not speak, he does not need to. His presence is enough, a figure in the stillness, a child cradling light in fragile glass. And in that moment, you may feel that he is not only holding stars, He is holding something you have forgotten, something tender, something waiting to be remembered. He walks further into a clearing where the ground opens wide and the sky leans closer. The jars he carries clink softly, not with sharpness, but with the tenderness of glass touched by light. Inside them, the stars do not flare. They rest, a quiet glow, as though they trust his hands more than the heavens. The boy sets one jar upon the earth. Its light spills outward, gathering in the grass, gilding each blade with a silver hush. He does not smile, yet his stillness feels like joy, not loud, not overflowing, but the kind that lingers unspoken, a joy that belongs to silence itself. Above him, the constellations breathe, yet even the sky seems less certain, as if wondering why its stars choose to remain inside his keeping. He touches the glass again, not to claim, but to remind. A promise passes through his fingertips that whatever brightness he gathers, he will hold it gently, without breaking, without loss. He lifts another jar, holding it close to his chest, where the glow rests against the rhythm of his heartbeat. For a moment, the night seems to pause. The wind folds itself quiet. The grass stills, as though the earth listens. The boy does not rush forward. He turns slowly, his gaze drawn upward, not to the whole sky, but to one faint corner where stars flicker like forgotten voices. His eyes carry a softness beyond age, as if he has known both loss and wonder in equal measure. He kneels again, placing the jar beside the others. The lights gather, small constellations on the ground, echoes of the sky above. No words leave his lips, but his silence speaks of patience, of devotion, of a child who believes that nothing luminous should be left alone. And in that gentle devotion, he becomes less a wanderer and more a part of the night itself, woven into its fabric, trusted with its secrets, a quiet figure guarding brightness where shadows cannot reach. The boy sits in the grass, knees drawn close, hands resting open against the soil. The earth is cool, its scent rising faintly, as though it remembers something older than night. Beside him, the jars glow, not burning, not demanding, only circling quietly, like breath inside a dream. He tilts his head, watching the way the light moves through glass, never escaping, never dimming, always returning. For a while he does not speak. His silence is not heavy. It feels like a pause, too sacred to break. A firefly drifts near. It hovers, uncertain, its own flicker smaller than the glow within. The boy extends one finger, not to touch, only to share space. For a breath of time, the firefly lingers, then it rises, leaving behind a trail that fades into nothing. The boy exhales. A soft mist fogs the glass. It clears again, a quiet reminder that even stars, when kept close, answer the warmth of human nearness. He lifts one jar, cupping it gently, as though glass itself could carry bruises. Inside, the light swirls slowly, a calm motion that has no edges. It turns, then gathers, then scatters again, like a tide with no shore to meet. The boy leans closer, his breath brushing against the glass. For a moment the globe bends toward him, as though curious about the warmth that waits outside. The night listens. The grass tilts in quiet devotion. A cricket hums low, its song drawn thin beneath the wide sky. Even the air seems to still itself, carrying only the soft scent of soil and the faint chill that belongs to dusk. He tilts the jar, turning it slowly, watching how the light slides along the walls. It never escapes, it never dims, it only circles, restless and eternal. The boy presses the jar to his chest, not tightly, but with care, as though his heartbeat might teach the glow a language of its own. His eyes close, the field waits with him, and for that moment it feels, quietly, secretly, as if the stars inside are listening back. The boy places the jar back in the grass. It rests among the blades, glowing softly, like a lantern that has forgotten fire. He stretches his legs, bare feet brushing the cool earth. The soil feels steady, anchoring him to something older, something vast. One by one, he touches the jars around him, not opening them, not claiming them, only tracing the edges, as though each star deserves to be noticed. The night deepens. Above, the real constellations drift slowly, silent companions to the lights he keeps below. He tilts his face upward. The sky is wide, endless, yet he does not reach for it. His hands stay folded in his lap. It is enough to hold the fragments already entrusted to him. A breeze moves gently, stirring the grass. The jars shimmer in reply, their glow trembling, not with fear, but with recognition, as though the stars remember the wind. The boy closes his eyes, listening, not to the night, not to the earth, but to the quiet harmony between what is vast and what is near. The reeds lean inward, whispering against the night air. Their slender bodies sway, casting shadows that tremble over the quiet field. Among them, the boy moves slowly, his small frame almost hidden between their tall shapes. No path is marked here, yet he walks as though the ground remembers him. One jar rests in his hands. Its glow spills gently through the cracks of his fingers, lighting his steps without asking to lead them. Behind him, other jars remain scattered, their faint radiance a constellation stitched low upon the earth. They do not call him back, they only wait, as patient as stars that know they cannot fall. He pauses beside a stone. The surface is cool, moss gathering like soft blankets. He sets the jar there, watching how its glow settles into the stone's stillness, as if stone and light were long lost companions. Kneeling, he rests his forehead lightly against the glass. His breath clouds, then clears, a rhythm so gentle it feels older than his own heartbeat. Above, one star flickers. Below, the jar glows back, steady and unafraid. The flicker above lingers, stretching across the silence like a thread too thin to see. The boy keeps his gaze lifted, eyes reflecting the distant spark, as though the sky itself had leaned down to meet him. He reaches for the jar again, not hurried, but with a reverence that belongs to something half remembered, half dreamed. The glow responds, softening in his hands, as if it recognizes the rhythm of his breath. Around him, the reeds sway gently. Their movements echo the stars, leaning and rising, never still, never lost. The boy walks on, the jar held steady, its light spilling faint trails across the ground. Each step feels measured, like a quiet promise to carry what is fragile without breaking it. A hush spreads wider. Even the crickets seem to draw back, leaving space for something greater to be heard. The boy pauses, listening, not for words, not for answers, but for the soft assurance that the stars, whether above or sealed in glass, are never far from those who wait. The hush holds. It drapes across the reeds, across the stones, across the boy himself. He lowers the jar, resting it in the curve of his palms. Its glow trembles faintly, not with fear, but with the weight of being seen. The boy sits again, knees bent, toes brushing the damp grass. The earth presses coolness into his skin, steadying him as if reminding, "You are here, you are enough." He watches the stars above. They drift slowly, their paths unhurried, their patience endless. The jars echo them below, a quiet constellation rooted to the ground. One firefly returns, floating close. It circles the jar once, then twice, as if testing a boundary. The boy smiles faintly, not to capture, not to claim, only to share the moment before it passes. The wind shifts, the reeds bend deeper, their whisper threading softly through the silence. The boy closes his eyes. The jar glows against him, a steady warmth, not blazing, not fleeting, only present, like breath that asks nothing more than to continue. His eyes remain closed, yet the glow lingers, a warmth pressed gently against his chest. It does not fade, it waits, breathing in rhythm with his own. The night folds around him, not heavy, not sharp, only soft, like a blanket drawn higher over weary shoulders. The boy tilts his head back. Through his lashes, the sky gleams faintly, a tapestry of lights woven beyond measure. He opens his hand slightly. The jar rests within it, its glow spilling like threads of gold, unraveling onto the ground. Shadows stretch and bend. The reeds lean in closer, their tips brushing together, whispering secrets meant only for silence. A memory stirs, not sharp, not clear, only the sense of another night where he once looked upward and wished without words. The boy exhales. The sound is small, yet the field seems to catch it, holding it carefully, as though even breath is worthy of keeping. The jar brightens faintly, not more, not less, but enough to remind him that the stars, whether far or near, have always heard. The breath lingers, thin and delicate, woven into the quiet air. It drifts outward, and the night accepts it, tucking it among its unseen folds. The boy lowers the jar to his lap. Its glow spills softly, painting light across his arms, his knees, the grass that bends to meet it. He studies the shimmer, watching how it clings to every surface it touches, never sharp, never demanding, only gentle, as if it knows its place is to comfort. A moth flutters near. Its wings are pale, fragile as tissue. It circles the jar once, drawn not by heat, but by tenderness. The boy tilts the glass slightly, offering the light without words. The moth hovers, then rests upon the jar, its wings open, then fold again, like the slow rhythm of sleep beginning. The boy does not move, he only watches, breath held soft, until the moth drifts away, returning to the dark. In its leaving, the glow feels steadier, as if reminded that even the smallest lives carry their own orbit, their own gentle path through the night. The darkness closes gently after the moth departs, not empty, not lonely, simply whole again, as though nothing had ever been disturbed. The boy touches the jar's rim, fingers tracing the cool glass. The light inside answers faintly, shifting its glow, as if to remind him it is still here, still his to keep. He leans back onto the grass. The earth accepts his weight, steady and unyielding. Above, the constellations drift, their patterns slow, their patience endless. The jars around him echo them, stars above, stars below, two skies mirrored, and he resting quietly between the two. His breath evens, each inhale draws in the scent of grass, each exhale settles the silence deeper. The rhythm feels shared, his chest rising, the jars glowing, the night breathing with him. A thought stirs, wordless, like a dream just forming. Perhaps the stars were never caught. Perhaps they only chose to be near, to remind him that even in stillness, light can belong. The boy closes his eyes again, not to keep darkness out, but to feel how light remains within. The jars do not call for him now. They rest, scattered in the grass, their glow softer than before. The boy sits among them, not gathering, not releasing, only breathing with a faint shimmer at his side. The night leans closer. Its silence is wide, but it carries no weight, only stillness, only ease. His hands unclasp. The earth beneath his palms is cool, a gentle reminder that nothing more is needed. Each star within glass dims without vanishing, as if learning how to sleep too. The boy's eyes drift, not searching, not holding, only letting the quiet fold around him. And in that quiet, the world pauses, not ended, not forgotten, just paused, long enough for rest to arrive. A hush lingers over the field. The grass bends lower, its tips jeweled with dew that gathers the last of the starlight. Each drop shivers faintly, as though remembering the touch of a greater sky. The boy leans back, his shoulders meeting the earth. For the first time, he does not resist its hold. The soil is firm, yet it welcomes him like a cradle, quiet and steady. His eyes wander upward, past the jars, to where stars remain unbound. They scatter wide, indifferent yet tender, their silence a companion stronger than closeness. Breath slows. It drifts through him like water through reeds, without asking, without force. With each rise and fall, the threads of thought grow looser until they curl away into nothing but air. Around him, the jars dim further, folding inward, learning the shape of stillness. No urgency, no command, only the slow agreement of light to join the dark in rest. And in that dark, he feels himself answered, not by sound, but by permission, that it is enough to stop here and let the night hold him whole. The night deepens, yet it does not press down. It spreads wider instead, like a blanket stretched to cover the field in ease. The boy lies back fully now, cheek resting on the earth. He does not lift his hands. He does not search the sky. There is nothing to guard, nothing to chase. The jars beside him offer only a softened glow, like lullabies that no longer need to be sung aloud. A breeze moves through the grass. It bends each blade in a rhythm older than thought. The sound is faint, a hush against his ear, reminding him that even the smallest things know how to rest. His thoughts grow pale, thinning into silence. What lingers has no edge, no urgency, only drifting fragments folding into dark. Above, the sky waits. Its silence is wide, its distance gentle. It makes no demand, only open space for surrender. And the boy, with one long breath, lets himself sink, not falling, not breaking, just sinking into a pause that holds. The field grows still around him, as if the night has folded into a single breath. Jars no longer gleam with longing. Their light has gentled, falling back into glass, like embers cooling after a fire once alive. He does not reach for them. Hands rest quiet at his side, fingers curved loosely, holding nothing, needing nothing. Above, the stars remain, but their sharpness has blurred. They are less points of fire now, and more a wide veil, woven to cover both earth and dream. The boy breathes slowly. Each inhale carries less weight. Each exhale travels farther, slipping into the dark like a note left ringing long after the song has ended. Here, no keeping is required, not of jars, not of stars, not even of himself, only the quiet settling deeper, like sleep at last allowed. Shadows drift across the grass, not heavy, only tender, their edges melting into the curve of night. The boy does not stir. The ground holds him easily, as though he has always belonged to its patient stillness. It is not possession, but embrace. The constellations loosen, patterns once traced dissolve into mist, a sky no longer divided into names or stories. Only one vast quiet remains overhead. His breath has slowed further. It no longer rises sharply, but flows steady and low, like water seeping into stone. No effort, no return, just the ease of release. Beside him, the jars cool in silence. Their glass is dark, yet it reflects the wide, dim horizon. They do not shine, but they do not need to. And within that unlit glass, rest deepens, not as forgetting, but as gentle surrender to a night that asks nothing more. A hush stretches to the horizon, soft enough to erase the edges of time. The boy lies within it, his frame blending into earth's curve. He is not separate now, body, ground, and quiet woven into one shape. Overhead, the sky turns vast and pale, not bright, not dark, but endless enough to carry him without end. His breath drifts thin, nearly soundless, like ripples vanishing into still water. Each moment lingers longer until breath itself becomes silence. The jars rest empty, no light remains, only the memory of glow, soft as an afterthought that no longer aches. In that emptiness, the boy slips gently inward. No weight, no path, no keeping. Only rest, only stillness, only the quiet that holds forever.